regarding minerals?
No, that it was it's been signed. It's been signed. So it was already
No,
been signed. It's
no, it
already been
wasn't
signed.
signed. It wasn't signed.
Okay,
It hasn't been signed.
what's the truth about this?
No.
Oh no no no! The thing is,
Mm,
the assistant secretary, what's his name?
Mark Rubio?
Secretary, oh, yeah, Secretary of State was in Zambia this past week, where he announced that the U.S. government was giving Zambia $2 billion to help in the health sector. That was the biggest announcement I think that I picked
Yeah,
from
as a grant,
the
correct?
yeah, yes,
So
as a grant.
there are two deals here. There's a grant that is going to go into health sector, and that's going to go into Millennium Challenge. Of course, we know that the Millennium Challenge project. The government of the United States, well, the U.S. government is supporting Millennium Challenge. So this one I know for sure. Millennium Challenge, the deal that they just signed, the MOU, and
Yeah.
also health sector.
Okay, so I know the one that Shivamba Kanyama signed a few days ago at the embassy with the
Yeah,
American
no,
companies.
yeah, yeah.
Yes,
That's
I
one.
know of that one. That is a different one.
Yeah,
It's
so
a
there are two
different one.
deals. There are two deals. There's the one for the grant, because a grant is a grant is a grant. There's no need for complications or for signing and stuff like that, right? There's no memorandum of understanding when it comes to a grant. A grant is one party coming here to say, okay, guys, we're going to give you this. That's it. Now the other one, where there's a memorandum of understanding where Chibamba Kanyama actually was signing. I saw him sitting signing.
Yes, that is true. But there is one that has been held back. That I don't know which one it is. I believe it's the MOU regarding the health sector. But I don't know why all of a sudden it's a grant is being attached
There
to an
is,
MOU
there
that
There
is
is.
is,
being held because
the
there's a misunderstanding or something that has not been agreed upon.
It
yeah,
is.
there is one that has been held back because the US is asking for a condition, something to do with
Yes.
the private data sharing, something like that. And
Yeah.
the
Okay.
Kenya is also in the same dilemma with the same one because I think Kenya has pulled out of that one as well because
Mhm.
they said they were gonna give us, I think, whatever the amount is in billions of dollars, but then they put this. I think the condition sort of came out after, the Trump
Yeah.
way of thinking. Yeah, so
Yeah.
is that one hasn't been signed.
Right.
It is.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
They are
It seems
calling
like
it.
there's it's a big deal. What is your take,
Yeah.
people, in that on all these things that they're trying to get into the U.S. government, trying to do this and that? Again, a grant is money, is free money basically. They give you money, and so go ahead and take care of yourselves. You don't have
Hmm.
to pay it back. Correct. We are fine. We are
Mhm.
happy with
Right,
that. But
Hmm.
then
right.
you don't get that much money. And I said it somewhere in one of the comments, like there's absolutely no way the US is going to just throw out that money at you and not ask for anything back.
No,
I
no.
commented on that. I'm like, there is
Mhm.
absolutely no way. There is a catch here. Something is going to have to give. And you know what? It wasn't long. I saw something that said, well, it's been held down because there was it's a critical mineral deal that was not agreed upon as a condition for the whole idea of the grant. And here
Yes.
we go again. Everybody wants to come into our country and get everything we have with conditions. So basically, they're paying forward to get what they want. I don't know
You
what
know,
your take is.
I think my thinking was this. Look, if you saw recently, uh, Trump was between trying to bridge a smooth talking or a peace treaty between Rwanda and the Congo. You can tell that Trump is actually now realizing to say, look, the way the world is moving, you need critical minerals.
Mhm.
He, for the first time in his life, he was the one condemning Zambia, all these African countries, saying all these people are bad and stuff like that. And not realizing, like, look, these are the countries that have the minerals that you need. China, at the other end, is coming in heavy, investing in Africa, especially Zambia. Europe, also the same thing. Now, now they tell him, they say, look, I think we're losing the game here. Okay, because Trump is about power. All he wants is power. It's about power. I want to be, the biggest guy. I want to be controlling the world. But if you don't have the critical minerals, how are you going to do it? Then all of a sudden, you remember, Zambia was condemned. They took away all the aid they were giving us in terms of the aid from HIV and health sector. It all was taken away. President HS stood on his feet and he said, "Look, if you're not going to give us this, we're going to create our own manufacturing, companies, and we're going to work with countries that are going to work with us. We've already going to build a multi-billion-dollar, drug manufacturing country plant in Zambia with a connection with India and Egypt. So all these things, they're saying, like, look, uyu muntu echechi muntu washanywa kwebati taretirimuka, okay, it's not even taretirimuka, no. All of a sudden the sun came. All of a sudden the secretary was on the phone with Mark Rubio. You can tell he just realized that, okay, I think I made a mistake, because Zambia, the way we are here, we have all the elements and all the minerals that they need. We have them. And so we have the power to dictate how this economy is going to move. If we have a weak president, like the one we had in the previous year, it would have been a different story. But now, because we have a president that knows what he's doing, it knows the direction of this country, he is not even, remember, remember, come here, go America, come here, Italy, come here, no, no. It doesn't matter if you don't meet Donald Trump. You don't like meeting Donald Trump doesn't mean that you remember who's this Ramaphosa was in the US in White House. But what has happened now? He's still condemning South Africa after saying, "Oh, we even play golf together and stuff like that." The personal relationship. Okay, but up to now, and look what he was talking about. How he was talking about Somalia. So anyway, I don't even go there. I don't even want to go there.
Yeah, but you're saying everything right. I think we should be. I don't know. I don't know how much I trust the US. But I can even trust China on top of the US, because this idea of how they just come up and change their mind and tweak people around. Our countries, like especially ours, have a lot to lose by trying to like mortgage ourselves to bigger guys like them. Honestly, because in the end, once they take out the plug, it leaves our situation very, very, very bad and very vulnerable. I'm so glad that there's a balance of Chinese investments in there and American investment in there. And just today, actually, on social media, on my WhatsApp social media, I don't know. On my one of the videos that they posted on these groups that I'm in on WhatsApp, there was some kind of a uh, thermoelectric plant that was being moved from China, already assembled, just ready to start and installed in Zambia somewhere. So it seems like we are heading the right way when it
Yeah,
comes to
yeah,
getting
yeah,
potential investments for our country regarding what we need.
yeah. So
However,
it's like,
the just idea of thinking these people are just not coming in here to help or do anything, they're coming in to get our resources. I think it's something that it's a big conversation, obviously, but it's something that I hope our leadership is aware that these commitments are not for free or for just because we are good, but they came to help us in a way, because a lot of those things that we have our own resources, and we can probably do it on our way on our own, but obviously they're coming in there. They really should tighten up things to a point whereby they don't get too much out of what they're putting in.
Yeah.
That's my take. I don't know. I think it's eventually to be seen to it's yet to be seen what are these investments really all about
Yeah.
at the end of the day.
So the good thing with China is fast. You see, US, there's a delay. I was just reading through that agreement. The 1.5 has been delayed because the US is looking for there's a condition regarding minerals. Okay, even if it's for health, how they want to tie it to minerals or something. The 50 million we're talking about, that was a grant, but the 1.5, the signing has been delayed. But there's a difference between China and the US. China is fast. The president just talked about the diversification of power. I mean, has been talking about it, but since the last press conference, the Wonderful Industries, they are investing in something like 600 megawatts in Mamba of thermal. Okay, my nephew works for Zesco. They're already putting the power lines, transmission lines from Muzuma in Choma that will go all the way to Kafue. And those are the equipment you're talking about that was ready on their way from China to Zambia, because my buddy is the ambassador, Zambia ambassador to China. So they are fast. It's announced today. Within 2 days, things are moving. US wants to put all these conditions, and they're gonna be left behind. The same with our drug requirements, medical requirements. I think Zambia partnered with India to build a drug manufacturing firm at the Outmouth facility. That's already in place. I mean, they already built. The construction has already started. So US is still putting these conditions and what. I'm not saying they should not. Some of these countries, they don't care. You want this? That's the need. Let's go with it. So,
Trump, the government of Trump is the work is still working on that colonial, master kind of. I don't even want to talk too much about
mindset.
But, so that's what it is. And if you look really deeply, the way our president moves or thinks, he is not going to sell Zambia. He's not going to sell Zambia. He can never, ever, 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 ever sell Zambia. He has that mindset that Kaunda had. The Kapwepwes, all those, old freedom fighters. That's the mindset that it has. So they would, sprinkle or try to, give us these little, tokens and stuff like that, try to hoodwink us. But we know what it is. Like, the world has moved on. We're no longer in the 60s. I think the sooner they realize that Africa is no longer in the old ways of long time ago, in the 60s, yes, it could pass. But not now. Not now. Because a lot of people are now awoke, and a lot of Zambians are thinking on the tip of their toes, and they're trying to figure out how we're going to move in this coming century. Like, how our children, our grandchildren are going to live, right? We don't just want to sell this country. Look, we at an advantage right now because we are holding the most precious minerals in the world. Zambia actually, if it was up to them, they would rather have Zambia be a civil war in Zambia. If it was up to them, it would be
because
there'll be another problem.
the choice they have is Congo or Zambia, right? So Zambia is stable. So
Yeah.
that's why these other investors they are pouring in money. So they would rather all this penalizing Zambia, 15,000 on the Zambian visitors, Zambia this, they just jealous, lack of a better word, jealous about Zambia's stability that is gonna really develop fast because like you said, the president has the mindset of the Kapwekwes and the Kaundas, but his is even faster. Is relevant now. Something that has to be done now needs to be done now, not taking 2 years. Something that can be done now. The US is still has that the mindset of the 60s. Who put these conditions? What they're gonna remain behind. What they could end up wishing for Zambia is to have this. Zambia degenerating into another Congo or Somalia because that's what they want. Now they can get all these minerals just dealing with M23. They don't have to deal with the government, you know.
And like,
So,
look,
yeah,
Zambia has all the minerals that Congo has.
yeah, yeah,
Zambia has all the minerals that Angola has.
yeah.
Zambia, like, we haven't even, we have oil in Zambia. We haven't even tapped that level. We've got diamonds in Zambia. We haven't even tapped that, you know what I mean?
We have gas,
You see? And so
gas.
Zambia is rich, and that's what I'm saying. Like, look, Makaunda died with a lot of secrets because he knew he had first-hand information when the first mapping was done in Zambia. They gave him that first data. He had it. Eh? He knew where everything, all the minerals were lying. But he died with that history. And that being said, it's okay. We can do the modern day data. That's why I'm saying, look, we need to have a modern day data streaming system where we can know where our minerals are. And it's being done. Once it's done, complete, we have what you call it? At the negotiating table, you have that, the hand to say, look, if you want to come here, this is what it is. Because you know already. Let nobody tell you that, oh, no, here, we know, or what, or what. No, 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 no. We know what it is, and we know where it is, and what it is. What do you want? And this is what mineral you want? This is what these are our conditions. Let's give people, for a change, let's start giving the other side the conditions, so that they can, apply to our conditions. Other than them just preaching. You can imagine in the 60s, nobody was, the people were just coming in, getting, moving there, here, there were, planes, there were farms, they were just, simply just drive out with minerals. You know what I mean? Like, there was no control. The Zambians, there were very few, very, very, very few educated Zambians in the 60s. Now we've got a lot of people that are educated. And we need those people now to come on board and say, look, let us put things in order so that nobody can come and take advantage of what we have. The minerals that we haven't even discovered yet. We're just tapping on the surface right now as we speak. We're just talking about copper. Gold is just being miraculously being discovered. Gold. Okay? You can imagine nobody knew that there was gold in Zambia. If people are saying that gold has been in Zambia, people knew that there was gold in Zambia for years. Okay?
Yep.
Go ahead, Wadan.
Yeah, I'm just listening to you. Really, my only observation is that I don't know how many people have realized that there have been three major signing ceremonies or negotiation meetings between Zambia and the US within a 1 month period. Within 1 month, we have done three major um, country to country, big negotiations, which is very odd in my view. We started with that meeting where they sent these diplomats to come in and talk about the visit. The U.S. officials came to Zambia and talked about the U.S. Zambia collaborative in mining and all that type of thing, and we signed some stuff. Now, when they came to Zambia, we didn't conclusively sign that agreement to talk. I mean, to work with them. They went back to the U.S. They called our ZDA, Zambia Development Agency, and then they signed these using their companies. They signed these agreements with some mining firms there on minerals. And just this week, they come back again. They want to sign another agreement. They want to give us 1.5 billion on our health sector for the next 5 years. But then they put strings attached let's sign that agreement we had in Lusaka last week. So you see where they're coming from. They are basically trying to twist our arms to sign an agreement so that they give us 1.5 for the next, from 2026 to 2030 on the health, whatever they call it, health sector partnership.
Yeah.
But as you have said, I think Africa is awake now. We are not going to be fooled anymore. And knowing our president is definitely the right person at this moment. He's a good negotiator. He knows what is good for our country. I don't think he's gonna let Zambia lose out in some of these things. And the good thing is, unlike in the past, where we used to have these so-called colonial powers come here and then threaten us with, this and that, and they were using so many methods, divide and rule methods. They would divide us, and some of the times, you remember, they used to give us some economic incentives tied with some very strict rules, whereby at the end of the day, the country loses out. Okay. Sometimes in countries which are very only two religions, like Nigeria and all that, they will use that to divide people so that they start fighting and stuff like that. So those days are gone. Those days are gone. And also, they used to use our ignorance of not knowing what we had to exploit our resources. Now we know what we have. So it will be very difficult for them to come here and dupe us into signing some of these agreements. So whatever they want to do, I think they will not succeed. That's all I can say.
Yeah. Fantastic. Mr. Mwanza is gone already. All right. So yeah, I think we need to close. We've been on for a long time. We even forgot what the time is. Yeah. So thank you very much for joining us today. We're gonna meet next week, unless there's something last thing that you want to discuss, or anything that you want to put across. Last words, last remarks. Mr. Danny?
There are so many that have occurred in the past few weeks. I think we should dedicate that next time.
Next time, yeah. I know there's so many. Yeah, definitely.
All right.
All right. Thank you, and we'll chat soon. Thank you, and have a good evening right there in Puerto Rico.